After a bye week, the Huskers are back and ready to attack the second half of the 2023 season. With no game this past weekend, was the team able to use that time to reset and recharge before the final stretch of Big Ten opponents? Did young players get the reps they needed to step in with so many key players injured? We'll recap the first 6 weeks of the season and look ahead to the next 6 with our special guests, Matt Vrzal and Mike Babcock. We'll also check in on recruiting and even take a trip down memory lane to commemorate 100 years of Memorial Stadium. All that and more next on Big Red Wrap-Up. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Severe, and welcome to Big Red Wrap-Up on Nebraska Public Media. The good news is Nebraska did not lose a game this week. They didn't win one, but they got some rest. Joining us now to talk more about that, former Husker Jay Moore and Sean Callahan. Most important thing for you when you were a player during a bye week to get done?
Stay sharp. I think.
So keep practicing.
Keep practicing.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you got to kind of feel it out because obviously guys are banged up. This is, you're through 6 games of the season. You got to get some rest and recover and shut your mind off for a minute. But I also think you need to stay sharp. I think, especially with your eyes and hand placement for a defensive lineman, offensive lineman. I'd say more defensive lineman, linebackers. Playing with your eyes is very, very key. And I think when you're away from practice just for 3 days, I'm telling you what, it can leave you in a heartbeat. So I think. Being up to that, I know they got a few days of good work in, but I would say just you got to stay sharp, and you can't get. You got to still stay on top of it. There's a lot to play for yet this year.
You know that Mike Leach's teams the week after a bye always played poorly because they couldn't stay sharp. So you nailed it with that. As a publisher and reporter, what are you doing on the bye week? How do you stay sharp?
You get to watch a lot of football. I mean, that's the one thing about doing the job we do. You don't get to see as much football because you got to watch this one game, lock in on it. Especially when Nebraska plays at 2:30.
Whole day.
You pretty much miss the 11s and the night games. So it is nice to be able to zone in and watch a lot of Big Ten football and to see Nebraska's next 6 opponents. 5 of the 6 played. Illinois beats Maryland. I mean, there was a lot of things that got your attention. They didn't win. They didn't play a game on the bye week, but it felt like Nebraska won something when you just saw how things set up for them here down the stretch.
Yeah, and obviously you got to get healthy if you're banged up. But how much are you? Like you guys, you want 3 or 4 days hitting and then have 3 or 4 days off, or how do you want to break it up?
I think the nice thing about a bye week is, and especially when they play on a Friday, so you get essentially an extra day. So I would imagine you come back Saturday, maybe you have them come in, review the tape, maybe get a run, get off that, shake some of that lactic acid out, the bruises out. Probably get Sunday off, hop back in Monday, Tuesday. Light practice Monday, maybe light practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe Thursday. And then you usually are getting Friday, Saturday off. I'm guessing that's what they did. Coaches are out recruiting. So that's always tough, too, because you kind of have a hodgepodge of the coaching staff because some guys are here, some guys are there. So a lot of times you're working with other position groups because guys are out recruiting. But you just got to rest up, stay sharp, stay mentally sharp. And this team is nowhere. They can't be feeling themselves yet. They've had one good road win at Illinois. There's a lot to play for. There's a lot of winnable football games in the future. So I hope they stay motivated and again just mentally sharp and wanting to get better because there's a lot to improve on, a lot to play for still.
Are you where they thought they would? Where you thought they would be through 6 games?
I think 3-3 is about right. I mean, 4-2 was possible, but I always thought Minnesota was a game that most expected them to lose. Colorado was one people thought they'd win. Then Colorado changed quite a bit with Deion Sanders. The Michigan game, I think most people expected them to lose. The Illinois game was a toss-up, and I think on paper, heading into the year, I'm a voter in the Big Ten thing, and I picked Illinois over Nebraska. Because Illinois, with where they're at under Brett Bielema, you thought they would have the leg up on a short week in Champaign. So 3-3, maybe 4-2 is possible. I think the back end though has changed so much now. When you start to look at Iowa, Wisconsin, some of these games. It looks much more manageable than it did even 2 weeks ago.
What about for you?
About the same. I did not expect Nebraska to be preseason. I thought they would lose at Illinois just based off of what Illinois did in the past.
And coming off of Michigan too, right?
Yes. And just knowing, again, once I saw what Illinois and they struggled against Toledo that very first game, this is a very different Illinois team that we saw last year. I thought they would lose at Minnesota. I'd get those first couple non-conference wins. I thought they would beat Colorado. I really did. I did not expect Colorado to be who they were early in the year. I knew they would struggle against against Michigan. And then you get one against, Illinois on a short week on a Friday night. And then now, like Sean said, you look ahead to the schedule. Northwestern has issues. Purdue, new head coach. Michigan State fired their coach. So Maryland looks like, might be one of the toughest ones on the schedule. They just got beat by the team Nebraska just knocked off. Wisconsin, Mordecai could potentially be out for the rest of the year with a broken hand. Iowa's already on their backup quarterback situation.
Right.
So there's lots, I hate looking forward to the schedule, but again, 3-3, it is what it is. And I like the fact they bounced back well after they got beat up against Michigan. Like I said, there's a lot to play for. Again, you got to take care of the task. You got to take care of winning Tuesday's practice and take care of Northwestern this week.
And Nebraska did a good job of getting out on the road and talking to some of those players that are getting a lot of offers from other teams?
Yeah, they managed the week well. Phil Simpson went out on the road. Tony White did not go out this week, so that they activated Phil Simpson to go to Miami for most of the week. But then you saw a swarm of coaches go out Thursday and Friday. Matt Rhule was at a game in Papillion versus Creighton Prep Thursday night. Then he was in Logan Magnolia to see Grant Bricks on Friday, and then he flew out to Ainsworth to see Carter Nelson. So Matt Rhule, those were his 3 stops, and then obviously the commits. I think that's the key. You want to go see your commits. We've seen some new JUCO offers made, so you wonder if Nebraska hits some of the JUCOs this week as well, because this is the only time they can get out. I mean, you've got to take advantage of this week, because you're not going to get out on the road again now until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he saw a few blowouts when he was on the road. He didn't see a lot of good games. With more Big Ten matchups ahead, Memorial Stadium celebrating its 100th year, there's plenty to discuss tonight. We can't do without you. Connect with us, help guide our conversation. Our call room is up and running, manned by our sports intern and at least one member from the University of Nebraska's journalism department. They're joining us through the season, enjoying Valentino's pizza and taking your phone calls. You can also text or email us with your questions to bigred@nebraskapublicmedia.org. We're keeping our eyes peeled on social media as well, so share your comments and your questions, Big Red Wrap accounts, and we will get to as many as we can tonight, we promise. In last week's Sideline Survey, we asked you, which area of defense were you most impressed with in the win against Illinois? A lot of you were excited about the linebackers and defensive line's performance, but the majority were just impressed overall by the defense, with 64% of the people just taking the out and going with all of the above. Come on, make a pick. If you didn't catch last week's survey, make sure you go to the website now and vote on our new one. It's a great question. It stems from what's happening with the 100 years of Memorial Stadium. What sticks out in your memory? We've got a lot of responses, and there were several that kept coming up. So tonight, we want to know which one of these is the most memorable for you. 1978 Nebraska-Oklahoma game, the number 4 Huskers beat top-ranked Oklahoma after losing them, of course, 6 straight seasons. 1992 Halloween game, where both Nebraska and Colorado were ranked number 8, but the Huskers dominated, came out victorious 52-7. 2001 game against Rice, where Nebraska won. Memories, of course, evolving around 9/11 and returning back to NCAA football for the first game after those attacks. Or Nebraska's Big Ten home opener when they beat Ohio State 34-27 in 2011. Pick whatever you want. Before we welcome our special guest in, former Husker Matt Vrzal, let's take a look at what the coaches and players had to say following the bye week.
I think we handle bye weeks way different than anywhere I've ever been when I'm away from Coach Rhule. We compete in everything that we talk about, just iron sharpening iron. Our guys went out every single day that we practiced, and sometimes they can be a lull in the off week, but this is one of the best off weeks I've ever been a part of as far as the detail, the practice, the competition, guys being locked into it. It was really neat. It was a good week.
Our team has got to eliminate the looking past just what's important this week. When we got embarrassed at Michigan, we didn't think about anything else other than Friday night. And we were locked in. And we're going to find out about myself as a head coach and our coaches and our players and our staff. Can we have that same focus this week? We better.
Just like I have been the last 2 or 3 years, like I want my shot. I want my opportunity. So if I get lackadaisical on a Tuesday because I feel like I need to protect myself for Saturday, I think I'm doing a really big disservice to my team.
I go back and I just look at history. Okay, you look at the team. Look at Nebraska football over the last 8 to 10 years in the second half of the season. It's abysmal. Okay, and that's not a knock on anyone. I respect the heck out of those. Those are good coaches, but we can't be the type of team that we lose. We lost to Colorado. We're embarrassed. We come back. We win. We play okay. Not very great against La Tech, right? Then we go out. We get embarrassed against Michigan. Now we're embarrassed. Now we can play great against Illinois. We just can't be that team. I don't want to coach that team, and our players don't want to be a part of that team. So that's what it is. Think about Coach Braun, the job that he's done. He comes from North Dakota State, takes this job at Northwestern. He's the DC, Coach Fitzgerald, great friend of mine, a man I respect, gets let go. He steps in as the interim head coach. He's on a 1-year deal. And he's got this team battling, man. They're fighting for their lives. What are we doing? You know, what are we going to be like? We'll find out on Saturday.
All right, joining us now, former Husker and pizza man himself, Matt Vrzal joining us. How you doing?
Good, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
I asked them that question. I'm going to go back to you. Is this what you expected through 6 games, or more wins, less wins, same amount of wins?
Absolutely. I don't think Nebraska could be in a better spot. You're 3-3.
Yep.
Okay, and I think a dose of reality for everybody is good medicine. Because when you start the season, you look at opportunities you had. You could have won the Minnesota game, but you didn't. Mm-hmm. Maybe got a little bit exposed as far as your depth goes in Colorado game because you were in it for a long time and then you got tired. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. You win the 2 you should. You really realize where you are when you play Michigan.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's it. Because if we look at it, Michigan got tired of Harbaugh in year 3 because it wasn't really working. Mm-hmm. Year 4, it clicked.
Yeah.
Year 5, it clicked. Now they got no problems in the world.
Yeah.
Right? And you go on the road and you beat Illinois, who I did not think they were going to beat. So it's where you are. You've done some things good. You've done some things bad. But you're 3-3. You get 3 of these last ones, you go to a bowl game. And that was my goal for them for the year. So on pace.
When we look back real quick, that Michigan game and that Sunday practice may define the whole season. Do you feel that way, Sean?
I think it will.
Showing them where they were?
If this season gets to like a 7-8 win type mark or, like finishes out strong, you're going to look back at that Sunday. I mean, full pad. And Matt, you've played a lot of football. You've coached a lot of football. Mm-hmm. How rare is it to say, we just got done playing on Fox on Saturday. We're coming out Sunday, and we're going to have the hardest practice we've had all year.
There's a reason I'm an assistant coach and not a head coach. Because that would happen a lot if I was a head coach. That would be, if we didn't play up to our expectation, there would be some Sunday padded practice. But it sends a message that what you did that day was not acceptable. And it's not punishment. It's getting better. You have an opportunity for advancement every day. Hashtag Nick Danzy. That's my guy at Scott who says it every day.
Nice.
You have that chance. So go out and prove it.
And the best thing about that is because being a player and you can always tell you have the feel of when the stuff is about to hit the fan, right?
Yep.
And that triggers in your brain is like, and you get together with your guys inside and like, listen, let's get this figured out because I'll be damned if I have to put those pads on again after a game. Yeah. And you'll get it figured out. It's amazing what something like that the practice like that will get guys thinking like.
Rally the boys up and say, hey, man, let's not do that again. Let's play a lot better than we did. Let's not do that.
It didn't surprise me at all that Illinois came out and played the way they did against Maryland because Bielema took over the practices, and I'm like, those guys don't want to deal with Burt being the guy.
He pretty much fired his offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he took over everything. He's like, we're running the ball.
As he should. Yeah. I mean, if you look what they did right out of the gate when he got there, it's impressive. Yeah. I tried to get into the Illinois State Coaches Clinic because I wanted to go watch their offensive line, how they did things. And I got booted. I didn't get in. They told me no, I couldn't go.
Yeah.
I was like, why not? I was like, I'm coaching Nebraska.
Yeah.
But it was what they did right out of the gate with what they had. Again, former Husker. Geske has a kid. Joel played with us. His son started for them. But they do things rough up front. And it's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And it's mean and it's nasty. And it is portable. You can take it anywhere. Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. What needs to be improved the most when you look overall at the team?
Tony White needs a raise. Big raise.
Yeah.
Like a keep you here raise. I ain't even joking.
No, I agree with
you.
He
wants to go $3 million, I'm in. We could probably make that happen. You're assistant, head coach, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Keep doing this. I think just if you clean up the little, right? Attention to detail. You do those small things and trust yourself. I think at times there's still doubt on what they can get done. A lot of that offensive line stuff can get cleaned up real easy. But there's just something in their brain that says, I'm going to miss, I'm going to do something wrong. They got to get after it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go, Sean.
Back to the 3-3-5 on Tony White. What has made that defensive transition work? I know there were a lot of skeptics when they go, we're going to run the 3-3-5 at Nebraska. What has made this transition so successful from what you've seen?
A couple things. Knighton being able to maintain what's perceived as depth with very few players. Okay? But their understanding of leverage, where their help is coming from, is probably an easier way to say it, and how well they tackle in open space. Like, we haven't seen them tackle like this, just a one-on-one sometimes in open space, and the guy goes down. How many years did we complain about, another missed tackle, another missed tackle?
Yeah. Practicing, right?
They know where to force somebody where their help is coming from. And it's cool to watch. It is clinical and it is precise.
The answer to that question about what needs to improve is finishing drives. They crossed the 50, something like 25 times, and only scored 9. 3 of those were field goals, and 8 turnovers. crossing the 50. You got to finish drives.
You've got to put points on the board, and your young kicker has struggled a little bit. Hopefully the off week he can kind of settle down and get things. But three is good. Just score.
Yeah, any kind of points.
So a bye week, it gives the opportunity for self-scout. Obviously, you recognize things you've done well. Obviously, you can obviously look at what have we not done well and done well. I think we know what the offense has struggled with, right, through the first 6 games. What do you like that they have done so far through this first 6 games, even with Hendrick Harburg having to come in and replace Sims?
So bringing Harburg in, I think when they call those plays, you're calling them to accentuate your player's skill set better than you have in a while, okay? You can't make a kid that's a runner into a great thrower unless he possesses that. Heinrich does a fine job of throwing the ball, okay? But his skill set is running the option or just a zone read. He does really well. I'd like to see a little more lateral shake from him when he gets out in the open space. But they tailor that really well to what he does. And I like that. And it kind of settles the linemen down, and it gets them involved in it, gets them relaxed. They look clean with it. And then he's got the speed to take off around the corner, score, to get it up the middle and score. So it's fun to see.
A lot of questions about Harburg and Sims and Will Sims' play. Over half of the 52% of the big plays that Nebraska's had is Heinrich Harburg. It's hard to stay healthy when you're running as much as he has. We may see Sims, right? He's got to stay ready.
I'm good with that. You can strain a defense. We're not a finished product. We are a work in progress. So if we can get early in the year, they ran a reverse with Harburg.
Yeah.
Got some yards. They went back to that well one time. Didn't work as well the second time. Yeah. But you put them both on the field. What if you run zone read, quarterback catches it, quarterback zone read? I mean, let's see what happens because they are both good runners of the football.
Matt, we've heard Coach Rule say this, that they're having to do just what they have to do. Like they've kind of put down kind of things they want to be on offense to learn how to win. As a coach, how hard is that to say, hey, we got to kind of get rid of some of the things that we thought we could do and just figure out a way to win games?
Coaching is a very humbling thing, but if you want to keep your job and you want to keep those big fat paychecks, you'll find out what your guys can do well, and you will practice that, and you will be great at it against any defense.
Yeah. The one thing I know about you as a coach, because you've said it many times, there's no excuses, right? All these injuries, a lot of them. You're down to your third string running back who's got fumble issues. 3 or 4 your wide receivers are gone. Your quarterback's out. All these injuries. But how do you see them handling that with the losses they've had?
The light at the end of the tunnel, or the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, if you get to that 4th game from the end of the season, right, those last 4, all them freshmen can play.
That's right.
All your redshirt freshmen. So you can throw them in. So you may see a Sammy Sledge. You may see the Knutson kid.
Yeah.
You may see some of these younger running backs that are in. Awesome. Give them a shot. See how it goes for those 4 games. Worst thing that happens is that they're good, right? Put them in. Now you got some depth. You've got built-in depth coming possibly in a couple games against 2 teams. Brilliant statement by Rule. We can win every game we play, but we can also lose every game we play. So don't shoot ourselves in the foot. Play well, and we can be almost bowl eligible. We can dump some of these new bodies in there and see what happens.
Do you feel you were ready to go by the end of your redshirt freshman year?
My redshirt freshman year?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I needed a full 2 years to get ready, just to understand. I was a running back in high school. I was a stand-up outside linebacker, right? I just never played with my hand in the dirt. It's just different, like just understanding and just the physicality that comes with it. I need to develop strength. I need to develop. I need to be tougher.
When you put him at running back, you gave him the ball 48 times in the state championship game. Jay Moore run right, Jay Moore run left.
Yeah,
that was a W. Just give me my title.
I need to develop that. I had to become mentally tougher.
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready. I had to get my head kicked in for 2 years to get ready.
That's the point that I tell any kid that's getting ready to go to college. Listen, physically, they like you enough to bring you in. The rest of it from here on out is mental. It's all mental. It's warfare. They're going to haze you. I know that's not a PC thing to say. It happens. But they want to find out if you're pumping blood or if you're pumping Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And you'll find it out.
Got to pay your dues.
And then you get to play.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because Rule's mentioned that a couple times, right? He's talked about how guys get in their heads. They start thinking about PFF grades, or they start thinking about, you know, am I doing the right thing? I don't want to make mistakes. You just got to play. Play speed.
Good piece of information Tom Osborne gave us all. He said, don't read the paper.
Yeah.
He said, because that's there to generate revenue. Like, they're trying to make money.
Yeah.
With Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and all of it, you just got to be able to take that as entertainment. When I look at that, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
That's it. And then you can't take that stuff personal. You know what you are. The people that matter to you know what you are. Sure. That's all that matters.
Yeah. I do want to ask you about Bryce Benhart because you're an O-line guy. What have you seen from him? Because he is graded out the highest guy on their line right now on PFF, the evil PFF. But I think the gains have been noticeable. Has he improved in your eyes, and how?
The big thing for me was his attitude. Okay, so I got the chance to watch the first time in a long time. I went down and watched spring practice. Loved every bit of it. Like it was fast. They're moving around. He changed his body. He trimmed up quite a bit. His hip flexibility became a lot better, so he could actually get in a functional stance. He moves pretty well. Started a couple fights the day I was there, so I'm always game for that. Just let the defense know we ain't here to play around. But effort, attitude, and kind of just dedication to craft. His feet are a lot better than they have been in the past. So it's good to see. Still things that can get better. Hopefully we can bump that to the rest of the line. They all kind of have the same grade after a while.
For a while, Nebraska was looking at big guys.
Yeah.
Having athletic guys.
Yeah.
That's the key.
That's it.
Right.
You want athleticism. If you get the 6'8" athlete, fantastic. And there's a ton of them rolling around the state.
Oh, yeah.
You got a kid in Albion, you got a kid down in Plattsmouth, a couple in Plattsmouth. You can go get some of those guys, but the athleticism of them is what's missing. You don't want stiff guys. It's unfortunate with AAU and all these things that have come about. The big guy doesn't really play any other sports.
Right.
Then they're sedentary and they sit and they play video games, which is fine. You can play video games. But that kind of racquetball player, that lateral agility kid, that whatever it is, they got to get out and move more. And then once you get them to move and you see the athleticism, now you can find those. All those plays where you want to pull, all those plays where you want to really pin down and block somebody, double teams become easier when you have athletic big guys.
Yeah, and having wrestlers as well. What is your memory? What's your biggest memory of Memorial Stadium? 100th year, we're talking about a lot this show. Your best memory?
Selfishly, it would be the 1992 Shrine Bowl.
Okay.
We were the first team to play on the new turf.
Nice.
Which was basically just green razor blades.
Cement.
It was terrible.
What did you weigh in that game?
It was terrible.
What did you weigh?
I weighed 300 and...
You were a big fella.
20 pounds at that time.
You weighed that much in high school?
Yeah, you look at that picture.
I played at 315.
Yeah.
In the wishbone. Pulling guard in the wishbone. It was awesome.
And now about 235?
No. Still 250. There's a lot of arse down there still. Black is a slimming color.
There you go. Good choice by that. Burrs, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Matt Burrs, we appreciate him. It's always great having him here. Let's take a quick break now. When we come back, though, our second guest of the night, Hail Varsity writer Mike Babcock will join us. Easy for me to say. But first, let's take a look at some of the best photos of the season so far, courtesy of Hurrdat Sports. Welcome back to Big Red Wrap-Up. Joining us now on the panel, Hail Varsity writer Mike Babcock. Thanks for joining us. Mike, you are the Dean of Writers here for the University of Nebraska. We appreciate you taking the time. Is it weird this season? 100 years, all the talk about it. You have so much memories from it. What's kind of the feeling you have for the 100? I know you were there at the first game in 23.
Yeah.
But since then,
That's a bad joke that's been used all year.
all year long.
When they use those blue jerseys against Oklahoma, yeah.
You remember that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's the feeling though? I mean, it's really been kind of cool with all the looking back at the stadium.
Yeah, it is. And your list of games there, I would easily pick the 1978 Oklahoma game.
Yeah.
That
Had to happen, right?
Yeah,
Coach
had to happen.
Osborne needed that game.
But one game I would add to that list is the 1959 Oklahoma game when Nebraska ended that 74-game conference unbeaten streak.
Yeah.
That was they called off classes the next Monday, and the goalposts came down, and it was really a big thing for people. Nebraska had lost 16 in a row to Oklahoma at that point. And so, yeah, that was probably one of the most significant. But for me, because I was at the 78 Oklahoma game, that was probably the one that stands out. 9 fumbles, 6 recovered.
It's incredible.
The last one, I think, with about 3 minutes, 23 seconds to go.
Was it Billy Sims with the final fumble?
Yep, Billy Sims. And, Coach Schwitzer wrote the book Bootlegger's Boy, and in that book he said he thought the 74 or the 78 team might have been the best team that he had. Nebraska had to play them again, and they weren't.
Yeah, exactly.
That was unfortunate.
Mike, I'm curious about the sellout streak, and you've been a part of a lot of these sellouts over the years. When it was happening in the early days of it, did anyone ever think it was going to be at this point?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they even started acknowledging it, as a streak until a certain point. I don't think they could have imagined that it would reach the point that it has. You'd like to see it get to 400 at least.
Sure.
Then tear down all the seats.
Yeah, well, it's going to be. Yeah, it's one of the things that Bob Devaney always said. He said you've got to have more demand than you have tickets available. That was what that was his belief, and I think there's a certain truth to that probably. But I don't think that that's the way the stadium has developed. Yeah. I mean, I think it's been an attempt to create more seats to make them more available to fans.
Sometimes you have to have a game, like the Michigan game this year where it put Nebraska knew where they were. The end of that 68 year, I mean, that's the year they lost to Kansas State and Oklahoma at the end of the year, right? All the changes were made. Sometimes you need a game like that just to kind of put you in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so. But, the interesting thing was that in 67, they were also 6-4.
Right.
And they led the nation in total defense.
Wow.
I mean, Wayne Malin was the middle guard. He finished 9th in voting for the Heisman Trophy. He's not a guy that you don't immediately think about him, but he was an outstanding middle guard. He started his sophomore year, he was offensive guard. They were playing 2 platoon at that point, and they moved him middle guard. 9th in voting for the Heisman. Wow. That's not too bad, Rich Glover was, I think, 3rd of the year that Johnny won it.
That was Greg Pruitt, and then.
Yeah, but you probably need something like that. Nebraska, in 67, I think Nebraska had a bowl bid and turned it down. Didn't think that they were really wanted to do that. And then in 68, you go 6-4 again, and the story was that Bob Devaney said that his secretary took care of all the mail, and there was a petition that circulated in Omaha to get rid of him because he wouldn't get rid of assistant coaches.
Right.
And Devaney said that letter got thrown in the trash, so he didn't know anything about the petition. But had he known it, he said he probably would have signed it himself. So he had a sense of humor. But,
right, no doubt.
They got things rebounded there.
Mike, obviously with the 100-year history of Memorial Stadium, and then just a few weeks ago we had the announcement of the total redesign of the stadium. The stadium's going to look vastly different here in 3 years. What is one thing Mike Babcock wants to see that needs to be done in this new stadium redesign?
I'd like to see the comfort level for fans in the stadium to be increased. However, that's accomplished. That's the thing that, to me, if you're jammed in there and Nebraska fans are so loyal, make it a comfortable kind of a situation for them in this adjustment. I think that's the thing that, to me, look at it from a fan standpoint, and how can you make it better for them?
before we get to this season, I was interviewing Johnny, Guy Ingles, and Jeff Kinney last week. And one of the things that kept coming up is a lot of African-American players' names. And that just didn't happen around the country. Bob Devaney was so far ahead with that, wasn't he? How much of a difference did that make building Nebraska into what it was?
I think it made a big difference. And I think that, that was one of the areas that Bob didn't look at it as, let's go after African Americans. He just did. That was just the way he.
With the best players.
Yeah.
His upbringing in Saginaw, Michigan, too, really.
Yeah, was. He was a boxer. I think that was a significant factor. Yeah, he was a very good amateur boxer, and he was a little bit of a free spirit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he and a buddy hopped a train at one point and left Saginaw, but quickly went back.
Yeah.
as I understand it, but. Yeah, I think that was just a matter of course, that he did that. And I think it was obviously an important part of what Nebraska's success was under Bob and, under Tom as well. I mean, that's a pretty remarkable when you think about it. Bob won 101 games in his tenure as coach, and Tom won 255, 49, and 3.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. What they did back-to-back coaches.
Yeah, and out of those losses, you accounted for one of them, right?
Yeah.
You made the mistake of putting something in the paper.
First year on the job, I was told, I went out to practice and Tom called everybody. It was the final scrimmage 2 weeks before the Alabama game, and after the final scrimmage, Tom called everybody into the south end zone and said to the defense, if you guys played defense the way you did today, Alabama will be lucky to score more than 6 or 7 points against you. So I put that in the paper. I thought that was a pretty good
quote.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And the next Monday, I went to the Extra Point Club luncheon, and George Darlington said he wasn't going to show the film until a certain sports writer left because he had cost him the Alabama game. And I was the only sports writer sitting there at the table. So I thought my job was... my dream job was done after 1 month. Wow. Because I did something that Oklahoma State, Kansas never did. I beat Tom 2 weeks on the job. I was, whatever. So, awesome. But the interesting thing about that was, Tom said the next Monday, after practice, he said, "Hey, I want you to come. I want you to talk to you." He pulled me off to the side, and I thought he was going to be really down, and he said, you're new on the job. You didn't realize that, you can watch practice, but you can't print anything that you see or hear at practice. You can ask me questions about it, and I'll either answer them or I won't. And, that's the way we need to do it going forward. And I thought that showed the class that he had. Then the next day, Lance Van Zandt, the defensive coordinator, who was a crusty old guy, he said, "I want you to come to my office after the practice is over with." And I thought, well, here Lance is going to do it again. So I go in there, I sit down, somebody opens the door, Dave Gillespie or something. He says, "Shut the door, sit down." So I'm sitting there, and then he said, you're new on the job. You just need to do what you think is right, and if you do, you'll be fine. That's all he said.
Nice.
So I thought two class guys there. And I think that reflected the program and why they were successful.
Well, thoughts on the season under Matt Rhule his first year through 6 games?
I'm buying the Rule-Aid.
There you go. Nice.
I like his openness with the media, and I know that I think he uses the media sometimes to tell his players certain things, what he tells us. But he's very engaging. He seems very open about things. He answers questions initially at news conferences before they're even asked. He'll say, talk about injuries and so forth. I like that. I like the idea of development. The one question I have is, in this day and age with NIL and the transfer portal, how difficult is it to develop players? If you bring in a really talented guy and you want him to develop, but he doesn't get an opportunity to play except maybe in those last 4 games his freshman year.
Right.
Is he going to stick around? If he is, I think Matt Rhule's got the system that's going to produce. But can you hold him here? That's the thing that biggest concern, I would say.
Mike, how much more challenging is the path for Nebraska football moving forward in the new Big Ten when it gets to 18 teams? You think about where it was at with the Big 8, and it was maybe 1, sometimes 2 tough games a year, and the Big 12 was that way. Now you could have 4, 5, or 6 of those types of games every year on your schedule.
Yeah, I think, I think it's just magnifying what happened when Nebraska left the Big 12 to join the Big 10, when the Big 8 became the Big 12. I mean, the more teams you have, the less control you have on what you know about those teams, because you don't play them every year. In the Big 8, that was, like you said, there were always a couple games where you might have a chance that you were going to lose that game if you were Nebraska or if you were Oklahoma. But you always focus. They did the same thing. It was one game. Focus, go 1-0, pay attention the next time. That was one of the things that Tom Osborne was. I think this was 1980. I think it was the Colorado game week, and I was going from the newspaper to the stadium to do an interview, and I was crossing the street there, Q Street, and somebody said, "Hey, you want to ride down to the stadium?" And it was Tom, and he was in a car, and it's one-way street coming this way, and there were cars behind him. So I cut across the intersection, and I slid and fell down in front of his car. And I, at that point, I thought, just run over me.
Yeah.
That would be good. But I pulled myself up, and I got in the car, and I'm trying not to bleed on the car. I'm looking straight ahead. I don't have anything to say. And the only thing that Tom said when we got ready to turn into the South Stadium lot was, Mike, I don't think the fans are taking Colorado seriously enough, do you? And
nice.
They beat Colorado really bad.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if he knew that I disappeared, or if he, he was so focused.
Yeah.
But Nebraska won that game 40-7, or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was like, that was his focus. It was Colorado. It wasn't how bad. That was McCartney. That was the Fairbanks, I think.
Oh, Chuck. Okay.
I can't remember. I think it was maybe one of his teams, and Nebraska just hammered them. Might have been McCartney's first. I don't know.
Mike, we appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for
Always
having
great
me.
to talk to you. With Saturday being the celebration of the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium, we want to take a trip down memory lane and revisit some of the most memorable games played there.
Nebraska is one of a handful of NCAA football programs with over 900 total wins. Many of those wins have come from inside their home at Memorial Stadium. One of the first games inside Memorial Stadium came against Notre Dame. Between 1922 and 1923, the Fighting Irish only lost 2 contests. Both losses came against the Cornhuskers. In 1953, Nebraska hosted Oregon. While the outcome was a disappointment for the Huskers, the game itself was the first football contest televised in conjunction with the NCAA. The matchup was broadcast to 80 million viewers on NBC. Nebraska's ongoing NCAA record sellout streak began on November 3, 1962, in the first year of Coach Bob Devaney's tenure. It began a tradition of filling the stadium each Saturday in the fall that continues today. The Huskers notched their first win against Oklahoma under Hall of Fame coach Tom Osborne in 1978. After enduring 7 straight losses in the series, Nebraska upset the #1 ranked Sooners at home for a signature victory. Memorial Stadium hosted a unique pairing of #8 Colorado versus #8 Nebraska on Halloween in 1992. The trick was on the Buffaloes, as the Huskers treated themselves to a 52-7 win in the rain. In 2001, as the nation mourned the events of September 11th, Nebraska hosted Rice for a Thursday evening home game. While the Huskers got the win, that day was about more than just a game inside Memorial Stadium. Colorado and Nebraska faced off in 2008 at the end of the regular season. Late in the fourth quarter, behind the leg of Alex Henry and a school record kick of 57 yards, the Huskers would take the lead. The fan jubilation following the kick has been described as the loudest the stadium has ever been. In the Big Red's first season in the Big Ten, the home team hosted the Ohio State Buckeyes in the first conference matchup inside the stadium. In a comeback for the ages, Nebraska scored 28 unanswered points to defeat the Buckeyes. As the stadium celebrates its 100th year, more memorable moments are certainly on the horizon.
We certainly love looking back at those moments. We have to take another break. Before we do, though, and we get to these new photos, we go to the call room, and there it is. Dial 1-800-CALL-MATT. He's taking the phone. That's not the real number. Call the number. Matt Vrzal taking calls. There you go. Call sheet right there in front of you. Leave us some pizza, Matt. Before we go to break, more photos this season so far, courtesy of Hurrdat Sports.
He's crazy.
Welcome back to Big Red Wrap-Up. It's time to check in on this week's Sideline Survey. What game from the 100 years of Memorial Stadium is most memorable to you? A lot of great choices there, but it's that one back in 1978 that Mike Babcock was talking about. Nebraska beats number 1 Oklahoma. 57% of the folks said that one with the 7 or 8 or 9 fumbles. With that, we turn to recruiting. Matt Rhule said a good thing this week. Not scared to recruit. We'll take on whoever comes. Talk a little bit about that and what they did this week to ensure some of those guys that are committed stay committed.
Yeah, they went around and spent really 2 hard days on the road, Thursday and Friday. Matt Rhule checked out a local game. Eric Ingerson, one of their newest commits at Papillion La Vista against Crane Prep. But then I think for him, the priority was number 1, Grant Brix at Logan Magnolia in Iowa. Grant Brix still undecided between Oklahoma, K-State, Nebraska. Spent a few hours there, then took his plane out to Ainsworth and spent most of the day watching Carter and Elson play and spending time there in the community at Ainsworth, and even stopped in the local Western store, had to buy a new coat.
It was too cold.
Because he only brought a windbreaker, and it was Friday night was cold.
Yeah.
Wet, cold night for high school football around the state of Nebraska. But, that was the key. And then, Kewan Lacey, I think, is
Big
another
time.
priority. Lane Kiffin was in his school this week. Florida's offered him. Alabama's talking to them. E.J. Barthel was down in Texas to check him out. And, I think seeing most of these commits was the biggest priority for the staff.
Makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about Tanner Hollinger.
Yeah, Tanner Hollinger, you look at 8-man players in the state of Nebraska, I'm not sure we've ever seen this type of level of D1 players. Tanner Hollinger at Cross County is committed to Illinois. And I've had a number of people say, like, this is a guy in Nebraska, you hate to see him leave because he's a very, very talented, athletic tight end, going to play for Brett Bielema. Caleb Pfeiffer was also committed to There hasn't been a letter winner from the state of Nebraska for the Illinois football program in over 100 years. But Tanner Hollinger, his father's a superintendent there, has a really good background, great frame to build on. One of the best 8-man years we've ever seen in terms of Division I talent with Carter Nelson, Isaac Dickey, who's going to walk on at Nebraska as well as a fullback.
Cross County, the Cougars, correct?
Yeah, and Isaac Dickey.
I have their sweatshirt.
So Isaac Dickey is on that team. He's a walk-on with Nebraska as a fullback, and then you have Tanner Hollinger. So they are loaded right now for an 8-man level team to have two Division I Power 5 level athletes on one team.
Let's go to the phone. Ashton Murphy joining us on the phone now. Ashton, let's talk a little bit about your season so far. How have things been going over Elkhorn South?
Oh, they've been going great. We're 7-1. We've been getting better every week. Honestly, our season's been going great so far.
Ashton, what is your timeline? Are you going to graduate early, or do you plan and enroll on Nebraska, or do you plan to finish out your entire senior year at Elkhorn South?
I'm planning on graduating early and then getting down to Nebraska as fast as I can.
What is the priority for you, and where's your height and weight at today?
The priority is just getting down there, learning everything I can, like right away. And then weight-wise, I'm at 230 right now, 6'5".
You have guys, obviously, that played with you last year that go down to Nebraska. What have you learned, from, like Maverick Newton and those kind of guys? What have you learned about what Nebraska is going to be like when you get down there?
The first thing they told me is it's tough. And, yeah, I know that's going to be a big part of it. Just going to be hard to get through that.
As a young guy coming into the program, how encouraging is it to see so many true freshmen already on the field, like Princewell Umanyalan and Riley Van Poppel, Cam Lenhart? A number of these guys have been able to play early, and all of them were also early enrollees for the most part.
It really excites me because then it makes me feel like I'm really going to get my chance to prove myself and even get the chance to play first year.
Ashton, tell us about your history as a Husker fan. As a kid, did you go to games? Have you always known that's where you were going to go? You wanted to go to Nebraska? What's kind of your history with the program?
I'm going to be honest. I had never watched Husker football before last year when I got offered and invited up to games. So.
What football? So who did you watch? Out of curiosity, who did you watch growing up?
You never guess. I don't really watch sports.
There's a lot of players nowadays that don't watch. That's fine. Did you watch pro at all? Yeah. Pro football at all?
No, I don't watch really like any football, any sports.
It's awesome. I completely understand.
The only football I'm getting is film. That's about it.
That sounds great. You're fresh. Ashton, we appreciate it, man. Congratulations. Stay healthy this season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. We appreciate the recruiting update. After the break, this weekend is clear. The Big Ten West is even wilder than before. Let's take a look around the Big Ten now and check out some of those scores. There it is. Spartans squeeze past Rutgers, 27-24. What a great comeback for Rutgers in that one. Actually, Rutgers ended up winning that game, right? Yeah, Rutgers came back and won that game. Maryland, we talked about that game earlier, getting upset by Illinois. And then Iowa with a really weird score of 15-6 against Wisconsin. I believe they only had, for the second week in a row, 6 completions in that game by their quarterback, their backup quarterback, but somehow Iowa just keeps on winning. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's, and you talk about the number of points that Brian Ferentz has to score.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Well, right now in the Big Ten West, there's only one offense on track to score more points than that, and that's Wisconsin, who just lost their starting quarterback. Right. So that whole situation, Iowa, the metrics right now say they could go 11-1.
Sure.
And it's really remarkable because they're ranked 130th in total offense out of 130 teams in college football.
133 currently, 130 are sitting there. And almost every single offensive stat, they're in the bottom 4, whether it's first downs or points. And they played more games. They played 7 games. So it's really crazy to think about. Let's talk about Northwestern, though, another team that's kind of struggled on offense. We don't know who their quarterback's going to be. One guy they're playing, Sullivan, runs the ball. Ben Bryant throws the ball. What do you expect, Sean?
Well, they're coming off a bye, so I think they're going to keep it pretty close to the vest. They can. I mean, they're a lot like Nebraska was last year. I mean, they have a interim head coach running their team. Yeah. They're kind of playing just with fight and passion, and we saw what they did against Minnesota. They played Penn State tough for 2 quarters, but then they almost got beat by Howard. Mm-hmm. So I think if you're Nebraska this week, you've got to establish yourself early and not let them get the momentum we saw them knock off Minnesota with a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that comeback was remarkable because they looked like they were out of the game and ran through 4 touchdowns in that game, 4 of the 6 he's thrown. When you look at a team like Northwestern, it's almost destined at times for that game to be close, right? It always feels like since we joined the Big Ten.
It does. It just feels like a weird game. This is a game where I just giving Northwestern their situation with the coach. They come off the bye week. It's got to be high alert for trick plays, onside kicks, fake punts, whatever it is, because they got nothing to lose at this time of the season. And again, I'm surprised that they've got 3 wins so far, knowing what they've went through preseason. But this is a game where I'm talking onside kicks, fake punts. Yeah. You're taking shots, trick plays, especially if they're getting just around the 50-yard line. So they got to be very alert to expect those type of plays from Northwestern on Saturday.
Yeah, best stat real quick, Ro, I'm going to tell you. Northwestern, last in touchback percentage, 26 kickoffs. They've only had 7 touchbacks. Nebraska's opponents, second highest percentage of touchbacks. So something has to give. Nebraska's going to have a chance to return.
Tommy Hill.
Going to have a chance. He's going to have a chance.
He's been close. They've talked about that. Ed Foley has said, look, he is that close to popping one of those. And Matt Rule is a huge Tommy Hill guy.
And no, he brings him up all the time. They walk out together. You see them going out. So far, we haven't had a chance to see it. It's probably happening in practice. But, sometimes a guy does make a bunch of plays in practice, and just eventually it's going to pop, right?
Yeah, he made a play. He was in the right place at the right time. Illinois. He's the one that got
Phelan Sanford with the great hit.
Hit, he got it, and thought he might be able to take it back. But, again, Rule praised him for his ball position, has taken care of the ball, going out of bounds there. It's a guy that last year struggled at times, has been receiver, cornerback. Yeah. But he must have the mental toughness and fortitude to kind of work through some things. And I like a kid. I always want a kid that can battle through some, scenarios where he's been on the wrong side of the fight, and he's come back, man. He's fought and he played multiple positions, and you want those type of guys in your squad.
Reminds me of Lamar Jackson, a guy who got benched and came back. From Facebook, Bob asked the question, and it's understandable. There's been some injuries. Are you surprised that they haven't seen as much fullback in terms of getting the ball? Well, we were led to believe there was going to be some fullback trap.
Barrett Liebentritt got hurt.
Yeah.
You saw him leave. I want to say it was the Louisiana Tech game with his arm in a sling.
Yeah.
And so he's been out. And, I don't know if he'll be back. Janiron Bonner is a fullback. It is what it is. I mean, I think Liebentritt gave them a look that the others didn't give, and he's been out the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm. How surprised, maybe you're not, Dale from Pavilion asked the question about the triple option, and I think Verzal kind of brought it up. If that's what's working, you stick with it. Right?
Exactly. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Harburg in the run game has worked very, very well. He's obviously a better runner than he is thrower currently. I think he can become a better thrower over time, but right now you got to use his side, his speed, and athleticism to your benefit, and especially when you're not as good up front. And I've said this for the last 7 weeks: is you get that +1 in the run game against the defense. So you got to bring a safety up. They got to play more true. It helps you out in the pass game essentially. On the back end, you got to utilize it. And again, if they did have a fullback back there, it'd be nice to see some belly option type stuff to come off of it. But we've seen it. It's been RPO. It's been the zone read. It's been the sprint option predominantly so far this year. But you got to utilize it. That's a weapon. He's tough to bring down. And the beauty of it, he's starting to pitch the ball too. We saw him finally pitch it against Illinois.
Back, yeah.
It's like, thank you, because there's some big plays there, and you get your Emmett Johnson, Anthony Grant can take care of the football. There's some big plays to be had out of the option game.
I'm going to take this question. Lloyd from Lincoln asked the question, why don't defensive backs turn and look for the ball? I'm going to tell you, I answer this question all the time. If you're in phase, the best thing to do is to get your hand between their hands into the basket, because if you look back, many times you lose the wide receiver. If you're beat, then you should be turning your head looking back. But if you're in phase, stay in contact, keep facing forward, get your hand through the basket. That's the way coaches teach it.
There was a rule. If you're in man-to-man coverage, if you see the ball thrown, you're going to see the ball get caught.
Yeah.
And you always play the hands. You can never look. You're never looking. You're in the zone.
Right.
You're reading the eyes of the quarterback. You're seeing the route tree kind of evolve. But man-to-man situation, you play the hands. Your back's to it. You see the hands go up. You just try to get your hands right in between. Sometimes it's work. I know it drives people nuts. Turn around.
Yeah.
And the really good ones, especially on Sunday, can do that. But your young players, you got to just play the hands, get in there somehow to force it incomplete.
Eyes and hands. Favorite memory from going to a game at Memorial Stadium?
Yeah, I've been to a lot of them, obviously. But for me, 94, the Nebraska-Colorado game, it was the 200th consecutive sellout at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
2-3 game. College game day was there. Such a big moment. Brooke Berringer led Nebraska to one of I felt like it was one of Tom Osborne's biggest victories in the stadium. So for me, that game still is probably number one.
What about you?
I have two.
Okay.
I think my first game was, I think it was the 1993 Oklahoma game at home. It was a rainy day. It was still when we played Oklahoma, after Thanksgiving. Calvin Jones had a big game. But the next one is 2001 Oklahoma. Eric Crouch, that game.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big one. I was there as a recruit. I was a senior in high school, so that was a very special one, too.
Mine's 2014, Miami. I know it's not a classic game, but it's as loud as I remember it, and it was late, and there were fights, and it was crazy, and Amir had an incredible game, and Randy Gregory had an incredible game. That's mine, 2014 against Miami. What's your burning question, Sean?
Can this team lock in and keep the level of focus it takes to win Big Ten football games?
Yep. Northwestern's going to try to make it a sloppy football game. Can they stay out of that trap? Clean football to get off with a win.
Can Nebraska make plays in special teams? That's the one place we haven't seen a lot of plays. Can they do that? Don't forget to head to our website and Facebook pages and click on the prediction. Jay, Sean, and I will tell you exactly what to expect during the game on Saturday when Nebraska welcomes in Northwestern to Memorial Stadium. That kickoff is 2:30 Central on the Big Ten Network. Be sure to snap plenty of pictures during the game and send us your best one with an opportunity to win great prizes like these on the next week's show. We want to see your game day best, so make sure you send it in the photos. And, of course, it's from your tailgate, inside the stadium, or even from your watch party in your man cave downstairs or woman cave, however you want to do it. Then, if you want to continue with the 100-year celebration of Memorial Stadium, check this out. Nebraska Public Media has created a virtual tour of the original stadium as it was in 1926. The model created in the program in the Deed the Glory Memorial Stadium allows you to walk through the entire stadium and see what it would have looked like to be in the stands 100 years ago. It even includes the very first expansion of the stadium, Schulte Fieldhouse. Head over to nebraskapublicmedia.org/Memorial Stadium to take the virtual tour today. And of course, we'll be back next week on Tuesday to recap the Northwestern game. My friend Sam McEwen, sports editor of the Omaha World Herald. Our thanks as well to Matt Vrzal and Mike Babcock. Before we do that, the feeling overall heading into this game, do you think because it's coming off a bye week and because they beat Illinois that they're feeling really good heading into this game?
I think that Michigan memory is still pretty nearsighted. I think they got to still listen. We're not where we want to be yet. We saw they've got some ROI. On playing Illinois, but they got to create that momentum and just know we can't be slipping. You can't get caught slipping. You got to continue to prepare each week and win each day, win each practice, one game at a time. Do not look forward and take care of business.
Hopefully they do that. Again, thanks to Matt Vrzal, Mike Babcock, and our student volunteers in the call center for joining us tonight. For Jay Moore and Sean Callahan, I'm Michael Severe. We'll see you next week right here on Big Red Wrap-Up.